Welcome back to Orange Hat Reviews, everyone. Hope you're all having a wonderful day. So, episode 14 of The Bad Batch. This was actually a decent episode where they have to go rescue Gregor. And we all know that Gregor was part of the clone trio in Rebels, or the old clone trio in Rebels with Rex, Wolf, and Gregor. And Gregor has seemed to have gone slightly insane between that episode of Clone Wars where the droid unit with R2-D2 and that little freaking general or whatever, Gascon was his name, General Meber Gascon. Yeah, that unit saved him from a derelict planet. But anyway, he spoke like a normal clone in that episode, but now in this one, he's kind of got a wily voice to him. And I'm like, well, he does have the crazy voice in Rebels, so whatever, something must have went wrong with him, or he must have just started losing his mind between this episode and that last episode where we saw him get blown up. But anyway, it's good to see a clone commander, or a clone commando. I keep on making that mistake, mea culpa. But there is a problem. There is a lore break in the clone designation for clone commandos. You see, clone commandos in the Clone Wars are known as CCs, where in the proper canon, not Disney canon, because Disney doesn't know shit, but the proper canon, the expanded universe canon, they were known as RC, and later IC. You see, RC meant Republic Commando, and then later on they became ICs, which means Imperial Commandos. So, yeah, them having him known as CC is ridiculous. You do see a clone commando in this episode with some yellow on his armor, and I'm thinking, was that Scorch? Was that Scorch from Delta Squad? But I don't think it was, because I know Scorch's markings, and he has yellow highlights on his helmet and in other areas, so that couldn't have been Scorch. I only saw the yellow on his clone backpack, or on his clone pack, which is part of their armor. So thankfully they didn't do anything stupid with Delta Squad. Now, if anybody knows their Republic Commando lore, Delta Squad did in fact serve the Galactic Empire, part of the 501st Imperial Commando Legion Special Unit. And they were given a replacement for Sev because Sev died, or Sev was captured and killed on Kashyyyk. And they were tasked with hunting down Jedi who escaped Order 66, along with clone deserters, Jedi sympathizers, and other Imperial dissidents. But in this episode of The Bad Batch, you see a bunch of different clone commandos or Republic commandos teaching or instructing the conscripted army that have become stormtroopers. I'm not a big fan of them creating another phase of armor in between Phase 3 clone and stormtrooper armor. If memory serves, that wasn't the case. I do not remember seeing armor or a different form of armor for the stormtroopers. It went from Clone Phase 3 to Stormtrooper. That's how I absolutely remember it. That's how it was always suggested. But nope, they got this new in between. They just gotta continue busting out and breaking lore. Or busting up and breaking lore. Because, honestly, I mean, they'll see it as, oh, we're expanding the lore. No, you dumbasses! This was already established. Clone Phase 3 was replaced by the Stormtrooper armor. And I do like how how the Bad Batch learns, that's like, these are our replacements? I thought you said you taught them when they were talking with Gregor, and he's like, I didn't teach them everything. That wouldn't be smart. And I absolutely love it too, because that is actually a smart thing, especially when you have a deserter like Gregor. But it also does show the ineptitudes of the stormtroopers. But the problem is, if you are showing stormtroopers, a lot of people don't realize this. Stormtroopers are actually pretty good shots. They are actually, when shooting with purpose, very good shots. A lot of people say that they sucked in A New Hope. Well, that was because they were all ordered to not kill Luke, Leia, and Han, or anyone that was part of their crew, so that they could escape and get to, and lead them to the rebel base. But people just don't want to listen to that. Well, and neither does Filoni, the story group, and his stupid-ass story group, because these ones also sucked. I mean, a couple of them actually managed to score a couple hits on Gregor, but that was about it. It's like, seriously? Come on now. You guys gotta do a better job telling your story. Objectively, I would put this episode at about a 7.5 to 8, where in the subjective range, I would put it in about an 8.5 to 9. I did enjoy the episode on a subjective level. It is entertaining to watch, as is the showgoer score. That would be around a 9. I just do not like screwing with the lore. And yes, a lot of people will say, well, this whole thing is screwing with the lore. Yeah, it is. And that is why I basically see this as a separate universe altogether from the main lore. As far as I am concerned, Star Wars episodes 1 through 6 are the only canon when it comes to the movies. That's it. Rogue One, Solo, and the Disney trilogy, that's all separate crap. That's nothing connected to the movies or to the original and prequel trilogy, in my opinion. The EU will always be my one true love when it comes to Star Wars. Because, honestly, if you watch The Clone Wars and then you watch Episode 3, you won't see a connect. You won't see any mention of Ahsoka. You won't even get the feeling that Ahsoka was even part of it. I mean, some of the people who are younger fans than me will, probably, sure. But no, I honestly don't. But as for this Bad Batch episode, there was pretty good action. There was pretty good score. There was pretty good dialogue. I'm not sure about the whole wiliness of Gregor, but I do remember in Rebels he was a wily clone, and he spoke with a wily accent, but in the Clone Wars he didn't, in the episode with Meber Gaston and the droid unit. So yeah, that's going to be my review. This episode was good, could have been better. I would have loved to have seen Vader, but unfortunately they had Crosshair instead because Hunter gets captured. And they actually keep him in his freaking armor. It's like, you out of your mind? These guys have specialized armor. So then they have Crosshair. He's like, I was hoping for the whole squad, but you'll do. And I'm like, what, you gonna try beating on him? That's funny. And I have noticed something interesting about Crosshair. His chip, or the area where his chip is, on the right side of his head, has been singed from the ion wash of that, or the ion burns that he had. So that's going to be an interesting thing on what happens to his chip, to see if it can be disengaged. But anyway, I'm not a fan of the chip thing either. But anyway, folks, overall, I'm looking forward to seeing how this show concludes and seeing where it goes. And I'm still in the camp that Omega is not a Mary Sue, because honestly, I have not yet seen that she is. Anyway, folks, that's going to be the video. You all know the drill. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that jazz. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. What did you think of this episode of The Bad Batch? Did you like it? Did you not? What was your thoughts? Anyway, this has been Orange Hat Reviews. Stay humble.